types of people?
I think it's horrible. Yeah, because I'm up here trying to promote equality for people with disabilities. But even now, kind of taking the mick out of disability sex. I say, I say, once he goes back, he don't go back. and I mean, that's probably not the best attitude to have, but it's hard to, like, sex and disability needs to be normalized. And when you see all my medical stuff, I feel that it's hard to see me as that kind of thing. For example, the machine that I used to get into bed, you could either look at it like a machine, like a hoist, or you could look at it as a sex swing. Yeah.
What do you carry? Okay. So what about? So like if we see we mentioned Datables once, and it's not the best example. So like having relationships with people, so someone without a disability, so to speak, having a relationship with a person with disabilities, or people with disabilities having relationships together, or.
I've never had a relationship with someone without a disability, not out of choice. I think, as I said, like, it's hard to hook up, like, in a traditional sense. I can't go to, like, pubs and whatnot, and I'm not seen as I can be, because, like, people don't know how I can be different and stuff. I might not be able to, like, perform the commerce with her, but I can text a girl, tell her I love her, tell her she needs a hug, and to come and give me a hug. And it's all about working around the disability. It's about being creative and stuff. And I'm a very passionate person, so if I love you, I'm gonna make it work, basically. In terms of the struggles I have with people with disabilities, is that when you're with somebody with a physical disability and you already have a disability, it's really hard. It's difficult because it's frustrating. Because it's weird, for example, having your partner, put your partner into bed with you, that kind of thing is kind of weird. There's probably a lot more injuries involved. And at commentary, I mean, I've got 22 hours support, so it's hard to, like, get any privacy and stuff. So, like, if me with X wanted to be in the mood, would have to, like, either wait or be very, very, very stealthy. I would have to, like, plan out stuff. But as well as that, being in public as well, being in restaurants and stuff, if you want to kiss your girlfriend, if you're able-bodied, you just kiss your girlfriend, you do it, it's fine. For me and my ex, we have to maneuver our wheelchairs around and get side by side, and if you're shy like I am, believe it or not, it can be the opposite. But if you love that person, it's all worth it, isn't it? So yeah. And nothing comes along easy. If it's worth it, do it.
Okay. Jim?
Yeah.
Do you want to take home message?
What was it again? I forgot.
I remember it was.
Probably something like, don't judge book by its cover. Try and do stuff. That'll do.
That's true. So, do you want to do questions?
Yeah, any questions? Don't be scared.
Just wait.
Tomorrow.
Okay. Done.
Yeah, thank you.
There we go. Can everybody?
I've got to follow that.
Some of you might know Katherine. So when one backstory?
Yeah, go for it.
So when we set this up, Cody Austin, Cody Austin knew lots of people who she thought would be really, really good at doing a talk. Not all of them were as quick as replying to the Facebook messages as Katherine was. And Katherine's come a long way today. Where did you come from, Katherine?
Keighley in Yorkshire. Well, Skipton technically, because I came straight from work.
Oh, shit. Yeah. There you go. Katherine, everybody.
Wander a bit more, but I've realised I have to keep the thing and everything. So yeah, I'm Katherine, and I am asexual. I'm an asexual person, and I will explain what that means. Before I start, without wanting to be too teachery, can I have a show of hands? Who has heard or has some understanding of asexuality already? Oh, that's so good. I thought it would be maybe like these people, like a couple. That's really good. Okay, so put simply, asexuality is the lack of sexual attraction. It is literally that simple. It's not that simple. Otherwise, I could just leave and I wouldn't have to do a whole lecture. But so someone who is not sexually attracted to anyone of any gender. So sexuality as a concept. In the 40s, a man called Alfred Kinsey developed the Kinsey scale. Anyone familiar? Yeah, a little bit. And this is the scale of sexual behaviour from 0, which is exclusively heterosexual, to 6, which is exclusively homosexual. Now, you'll notice that there's not much scope for asexual people on here, and he did at the time create a grade called X. Just throw you on the pile there. Which was to represent no socio-sexual contacts or relations, which is what we now understand as asexuality. But rather than the sort of straight line of 0 to 6, a triangle was created so that we could be part of the diagram as well. So along the top you've got heterosexuality, homosexuality, and down here, in the little dark corner, this is the X group, the X-men, the asexuals down here. But what you'll notice is there is a big gap in the middle, which is a grey area, and this is because asexuality is not as simple as just no sexual attraction. Sometimes it is, but not always. So, done that bit. So, the Kinsey scale essentially runs across the top, but this is also a scale, so you can fall anywhere in this triangle, really, in terms of sexuality. So, along the top is sexual, except that sounds a bit creepy, so the word allosexual was created to mean someone who is not asexual, and then we're down here in the little dark deep corner. So everyone here will fit somewhere into that triangle, most of you probably along the top and the little deep dark corner. So what falls between asexual and allosexual? Well, if we think of, no, that's the wrong bit. The two main identities that fall between these are grey sexual, which is kind of a blanket term for anyone who falls sort of in the middle, they're not sure. This can mean different things to different people. So sometimes it's people who only experience sexual attraction once, or some people only experience it towards fictional characters, that's also a thing. They would class themselves as grey sexual. And demisexual attraction after a really close bond has been formed with someone. So not sort of straight away looking at someone like, yes, you, not that. So, being asexual doesn't automatically mean that you don't want a romantic relationship, because this can be two different separate things. So asexual people tend to also identify themselves by their romantic orientation as well, and this is also a spectrum. So you can be alloromantic, which again is not aromantic, which we'll come to. So alloromantic covers homoromantic, heteromantic, biromantic, panromantic, probably a few others I've missed. But then also aromantic, which means not romantically attracted to anyone either. So I'm an aromantic asexual. My two main orientations match up, but you can have mismatching ones. So you can be an aromantic bisexual or a biromantic asexual or whatever. They don't have to match. It's really confusing if they don't match. It's confusing being asexual anyway, but yeah. So it's very helpful to understand that these are two different things, especially if you're asexual, that you can be romantically attracted to someone without wanting to have sex with them. So, oh, and grey romantic, which again falls sort of in the middle and more of a blanket term. So I'm going to give your eyes a break. Look at some very attractive people. Chris Evans, absolutely. Emma Stone, Peggy Carter from, well, Hayley Atwell, who plays Peggy Carter. Zachary Levi, I know you appreciate that one. Who else have I got? Sarah Michelle Gellar, yes. Michael Ealy and Natalie Portman. Oh my god. I know. Just take a minute, that's fine. My point is that these are people who I find attractive, not romantically and not sexually, but I find them attractive, and this is because romantic and sexual attraction aren't the only types of attraction. So they're the two that I don't have, but I still appreciate all these beautiful, beautiful people. So other types of attraction, other than sexual and romantic, are aesthetic, which is literally, I like looking at this person's face. So Emma Stone, I like looking at her face, she has a nice face. That's a fairly simple one. Sensual is kind of a complicated one because it can mean different things for different people depending how you interpret the difference between sensual and sexual or romantic things. So I tend to see it as, would I like to cuddle with this person, Chris Evans, for example? Yes, so I am sensually attracted to him, but not sexually or romantically attracted to him. And the last one is platonic attraction, which is just, I want to be friends with this person. I want to be friends with Sarah Michelle Gellar. We could reenact Buffy all day, it would be amazing. So both asexual and allosexual people can experience all of these, or none of these, or one or two of these. Everyone has their own different identities of how they determine themselves, and you can choose to be really labelly and put labels onto yourselves of all of these things, or none of these things, or whatever. So, asexual and aspectrum people can and still do have sex sometimes. So there's a number of reasons for this. They might have sex because they have an active libido and their body wants to have sex. It just means that they're not sexually attracted to the people that they're doing it with. They might have sex because a partner wants to, or because they want to have children. And having sex with someone doesn't make them not asexual because it's to do with the attraction, or not, in our case.